Imagine an excavator tall enough to reach more than 16 stories into the sky. Now, imagine that machine standing beside a massive building, reaching all the way to the upper floors and slowly tearing the structure apart piece by piece. This isn't science fiction. It's one of the most specialized forms of heavy machinery in the world. High-reach demolition excavators are built for one purpose: taking down enormous structures from heights where ordinary excavators simply can't operate. And some of the newest machines are so large that their operating weight can exceed 400,000 pounds, while their booms can reach more than 160 feet into the air. But how do you safely control a machine this massive while it's destroying a building? Let's take a closer look. Before a demolition excavator ever touches a building, the real work begins on the ground. Engineers first study the structure that needs to come down. They examine the building's construction materials, its height, its structural supports, surrounding roads, nearby buildings, underground utilities, and the safest direction for debris to fall. Because demolition isn't simply about breaking something, it's about controlling exactly where everything goes. Once the site is prepared, the giant excavator is positioned at a carefully selected location. And when you see one of these machines for the first time, the scale is almost difficult to understand. The undercarriage sits on enormous steel tracks. The tracks spread the machine's weight across the ground and provide the stability required for heavy demolition work. Above them sits the main body of the excavator, but the most impressive part is the boom. A high-reach demolition boom can stretch more than 100 feet into the air. Instead of using a normal digging arm, the machine is equipped with a specially designed long-reach structure, engineered specifically for work at extreme heights. At the end of that boom is the demolition attachment. Depending on the project, the excavator might use massive hydraulic shears, concrete pulverizers, breakers, or other specialized tools. And this is where the machine becomes truly impressive. Imagine a building several stories above the ground. The operator raises the boom slowly. Hydraulic cylinders extend. The enormous arm rises higher and higher. Then the attachment reaches the upper section of the building. The machine doesn't simply smash the structure randomly. The operator works systematically, one section at a time, one floor at a time. The hydraulic attachment grabs, crushes, cuts, and breaks the structure apart. Concrete cracks, steel reinforcement bends, walls collapse inward, and massive pieces of material fall toward the controlled demolition zone below. But there is a major challenge. The higher the boom reaches, the more important stability becomes. A long boom creates enormous forces on the excavator. The machine has to remain stable while the attachment is hundreds of feet away from the center of its body. That's why these machines are carefully engineered with reinforced structures, heavy counterweights, powerful hydraulic systems, and sophisticated controls. Every movement has to be deliberate. Even a small mistake at extreme height can create a dangerous situation. Inside the cab, the operator has a completely different view of the demolition process. Instead of looking at the machine from the outside, the operator sees the building directly through the cab windows and monitors. Modern demolition excavators can also provide information about machine position, hydraulic pressure, boom movement, and other operating conditions. The operator uses this information to control the attachment with remarkable precision, and then the demolition begins. The machine reaches toward the upper floors. A massive hydraulic shear closes around steel. The jaws squeeze, metal bends and breaks. The operator releases the attachment and moves to the next section. Concrete panels are pulled away, walls are crushed, structural components are carefully dismantled, and slowly the building begins to disappear. One of the most satisfying parts of watching these machines work is seeing the building shrink floor by floor. At first, the excavator looks small compared with the structure, but as the upper floors disappear, the machine suddenly becomes the dominant object on the site. Eventually, the giant building that once towered above the city is reduced to a much smaller structure, and the excavator keeps working. But demolition creates another challenge: dust. When concrete and masonry are broken apart, enormous clouds of fine particles can fill the air. That's why professional demolition sites often use water sprays and other dust control systems. Water is sprayed around the work area to reduce airborne particles and improve visibility. The site also needs strict safety controls. Workers stay outside the excavator's operating radius. Barriers and exclusion zones are established around the demolition area, and the operator must constantly monitor the attachment, boom, building structure, and surrounding environment. Because this isn't ordinary excavation, the machine is working against a structure that is actively changing as it's being demolished. Every wall removed can change the forces inside the remaining building. That's why demolition plans are carefully designed before the first piece of concrete is touched. And the machine itself is only part of the operation. Around it, an entire team works together. Engineers plan the sequence, operators control the excavator, ground crews manage debris, water systems control dust, haul trucks remove demolished material, and other heavy equipment clears and processes the rubble. Together, these machines turn a massive building into thousands of tons of manageable material. But what makes high-reach excavators particularly valuable is their ability to work from a safer position on the ground. Instead of sending workers high onto the structure with handheld equipment, the long-reach machine can perform much of the demolition remotely from below. The excavator becomes a giant mechanical arm reaching into the building. This combination of height, power, and control makes it one of the most specialized machines in modern demolition. And then comes the final stage. After the upper floors have been removed, the machine can often be reconfigured or replaced with more conventional demolition equipment. The remaining structure is gradually reduced, steel is separated, concrete is broken down, rubble is sorted, and eventually the giant building is gone. What remains is an open construction site covered with piles of material that can be processed, recycled, or transported away. And standing in the middle of it all is the machine that made the transformation possible, a massive demolition excavator. It's easy to look at one of these machines and see only a giant excavator with an unusually long arm, but there is much more happening beneath the surface. The tracks provide stability, the counterweights balance the machine, the hydraulic system generates enormous crushing force, the boom provides incredible reach, the attachment controls how the structure is broken apart, and the operator brings all of those systems together with precise movements. That's what makes these machines so fascinating. They're not designed simply to destroy buildings, they're designed to control destruction. From more than 100 feet away, an operator can reach high above the ground, grab massive sections of a structure, and carefully dismantle them piece by piece. And when you watch an entire skyscraper slowly disappear under the jaws of one enormous machine, you're seeing engineering, precision, and raw mechanical power working together. This is the hidden world of America's biggest demolition machines. Machines built not just to break concrete and steel, but to safely transform entire structures into the ground they once stood on. If you love giant machines, heavy equipment, engineering, and unbelievable construction technology, subscribe for more Mega Machine documentaries. And tell us in the comments, what massive machine should we explore next? Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.